Live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good afternoon, everybody. We have just found a family of warthogs enjoying the shade and some grass to feed on. And this is Safari Live. And welcome again to Safari Live, everyone, and what a great time to join us. We've just found, as I mentioned, this family of warthogs, a sounder of warthogs. That is what a group of warthogs are known as, and they are enjoying the shade at the moment. It's a beautiful winter's day, and they're just enjoying some of the grass, little grass shoots and roots that they can find over there. And good afternoon, my name is Byron, and with me on camera this afternoon is Sebastian. Now, it's a school drive this afternoon. A big welcome to Montrose Elementary. Lovely to have you with us. Don't forget, everyone, ask your teachers to send us your questions, and we'll gladly get through them. It's only myself on drive at the moment, and we are waiting for one of the cameramen to get back. So then maybe Tristan will join us a bit later, and we're waiting for the team in the Mara. So for now, it's the Byron Show on Safari Live. Anyway, we're going to try to find you as much as possible. We've got the ladies in final control, obviously. And as I said, a beautiful, beautiful winter's day. And luckily for us, we've got a family of warthogs to enjoy for the start of the show. You can see them moving around. I'm just trying to have a look and see if I can see if there's... It looks like two females, or two larger females, and then three piglets or three youngsters. So a very nice family group. Yeah, it is indeed two females. The two bigger ones are females, but you can see the large one. Let's see, they'll probably pop out onto the road soon. That large one is just behind the tree at the moment. Actually, those are all about the same size, more or less. So, I think it's 4 piglets and the adult female. The adult female, you can see just behind those sticks. That is the adult. She's much bigger than the others, and those are her piglets. Aren't they cute? I really enjoy warthog. I think they're wonderful animals. I think they've got such character. Now, if you notice, look closely at those two youngsters. You can see those white beards glistening in the sun. Now, they've got very, very long white hair around their chins or lower jaws, I suppose you could call it, or upper jaws. And the reason for that is so that predators think the warthog potentially have large tusks. That female, she's just got her head down in the long grass. We can't see now, but the big adult warthogs do get very sharp tusks, and they use that to defend themselves and protect themselves. So if a predator, say for example a leopard, had to see them, they might think to themselves they don't want to risk injury and try and hunt these warthogs. So it's a defense mechanism almost to show that they probably have these large tusks, and any predator should be very, very careful. Bit of a cool breeze this afternoon. Jacqueline, I'm not sure how we pronounce it. You asked if these warthogs run. They do indeed. They're very fast. Now the funny thing is, actually, I'm going to try and move a little bit, Jack, quickly. Hold on a second. But Jacqueline, the funny thing is, when they do run, these warthogs, they lift their tails up into the air. Looks like little sometimes, or little antenna that they lift up into the air. Now the theory behind that is that They use it to follow one another through the long grass. So they can see the long tails sticking up, and then they're able to follow one another. And just in the shade there again, but they can run very, very fast. Now, Jordan, I'm trying to think. I don't know exactly how fast they run. I don't know what speed they can get up to, but I would say, I don't know, probably 40 kilometers an hour. What do you think, Seb? 40 kilometers an hour? What's that?
Yeah, that sounds right.
25, 30 miles an hour? Does that sound about right? 20? Maybe. I'm not sure. I've never measured. All I know is they are much, much, much faster than we are. So they can definitely run much faster than us. And if I've seen warthogs running away from predators before. They're incredibly fast. Those short little legs can carry them at really, really high speeds. So, talent, if you have a look closely, you can see those warthogs are bending down. They've got their snouts close to the ground, and they're busy feeding on grass, shoots, or roots. That's what the warthogs eat. They only feed on plant materials, so they are herbivores. So they'll use those snouts to dig up really, really nice green grass shoots. Basically the part of the grass that has the most nutrients, and that's why they use their snouts, and they'll often go down on their knees, and you can see one or two of them are doing it there at the moment. They go down on their knees to get a little bit lower to the ground so they can use their snouts to chew on the grass, and that's what they feed on. Oh, Sammy, now you asked how long their tusks get. Now you can see that female, can you see those tusks there? A little bit, it's a bit difficult in the shade at the moment, but she's got some big tusks. But the big males, Sammy, I've seen big male warthogs. I'm trying to think, the best way I can show you is like this. I've seen big male warthogs with tusks about this long. Now that's very, very long and they curve slightly. I've seen some really, really long tusks, and part of the tusk actually sits in the top of the jaw. So those tusks are very, very long. And for big warthog, for big males, generally they get really big tusks. They'll use it to fight one another, and as I said, for protection against predators. I think they're starting to move off a little bit now. Carry on feeding. They might go and look for water at some point. Especially now in our winter, everyone, it's very, very dry. So these animals do need water. So they'll go and look for different water holes and see if they can find water during the day, and then go off and feed again and carry on feeding. Now, Christy, a big warthog, a big male warthog, can weigh up to, I've read in places, 80 or 100 kilograms. Now, that's very, very big for a warthog. Just to give you an idea, what is that again? That is about, is it double? I always forget. I think it's 220 pounds, roughly. Roughly, Christy, somewhere around there, 220, 230 pounds for a big male warthog. But, I think generally they probably weigh around 40 to 60 kilograms. That's about 130 pounds. Mrs. Armstrong, you asked what predators prey on the warthogs. So, Mrs. Armstrong, the warthogs, their main predators would be leopard and lion, and And there are occasionally other predators like wild dog. You might get hyena trying to catch a warthog, but they're probably not. They're not fast enough to catch warthog. The lions and the leopards would stalk them and try to ambush them, but those would definitely be their main predators: the lions and leopards. And leopards especially, because leopards they are really skilled ambush predators. You can see the warthog lifting its tail and dropping some dung over there. Well done, Seb. And so the leopards are skilled hunters when it comes to hunting warthog. They'll lie patiently and wait in ambush. That means they'll sneak up very close and then launch themselves out of the bush and try to catch these warthogs. But a warthog is very tough. As I said, very fast and very powerful. So it's not always easy, but a leopard is incredibly strong. So they are skilled hunters when it comes to hunting warthog. I've seen in the past, I've seen leopards sitting outside warthog burrows. Now the warthogs, what they do is they're very clever. They will live or sleep rather inside abandoned termite mounds. I'll try to find you a nice big termite mound, and as those warthogs move off, why don't we carry on too? But I'll carry on my story. So I'll try to find you a nice termite mound to show you. And the warthogs excavate it, and they will live inside there. But they're very clever. What they do is they actually reverse. They'll go in backwards, so those sharp tusks protect them and are facing outwards, facing the entrance of their burrow. But what happens is, often I've actually seen leopards lying on top of termite mounds above a burrow, waiting for those warthogs to come out. And as they come out, the leopard will pounce and try to catch a warthog. It's not always easy, but that's what I have seen leopards doing that before. And speaking of leopards, that is actually what we're going to be looking for this afternoon. And so hopefully we have some luck this afternoon. I know Ellie and Taylor had a bit of luck with leopards this morning, so we'll try our best and see if we can find some. We'll see what else we can find though. There's a lot happening around here at the moment. A lot of birds, and I saw a tiny creature I wanted to show you. It's disappeared. So there was a little squirrel that jumped into the tree, but it's disappeared. It's hiding from us. I was hoping to show you, but it's gone. Now, Corey, you asked how far can we hear an elephant trumpet from? Well, Corey, trying to think, you can probably hear a full scream or trumpet from an elephant from about maybe 1 or 2 miles away, Corey, probably, somewhere around there. They're very, very loud. If not further, maybe. Now, Carl, you asked how loud is a lion's roar. So, Carl, a lion's roar is much louder than the trumpeting elephant. A lion's roar can be heard 10 kilometers away on a clear morning or clear evening, up to 10 kilometers away. Now, to give you an idea, that's about 6 miles or so, Carl, I think, somewhere around there. So very, very far. Oh, you must excuse me, I've got to convert from kilometers to miles, and it's not always easy. I always get a bit confused, but I think I'm pretty close with that. So it can be heard very, very far away. Now, I just wanted to show you, there's actually a beautiful termite mound just off to my right. And this is what I was speaking about with those warthogs. And you see, so that is an abandoned termite mound. So what happens is the termites build that. They excavate the soil, which means they dig the soil up from underneath the ground, and they use that to build these big mounds. But once the termites move out and they move to a different area, other animals will use these termite mounds as homes. And one of the animals is, of course, the warthogs. So they will dig a hole, an entrance into the base of this termite mound. And what they do is they make that their homes. So it's a good place to hide from predators. They'll sleep there at night and then come out during the day and go and look for food, just like we saw that family of warthog doing. But you can see how big those termite mounds can get, very, very large. So I hope all of you are having a wonderful day at school today. As I said, can you believe this is winter for us? Very, 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 very warm temperatures. I think the temperature this afternoon is close to, it's about 78 degrees Fahrenheit. So 26 degrees Celsius or 78 degrees Fahrenheit. That's how warm it is today. And for a winter day, that's beautiful. Really, really lovely. There's a nice view of a termite mound, just to give you all an idea of how big they can get. I find them so fascinating. I'm going to jump off quickly. Have a look at this. If I stand next to this termite mound, there are a few holes here. I've got to be careful of snakes, because snakes also use these termite mounds. And you can see how tall, this termite mound's much taller than me. To think that those little creatures, those little tiny insects, the termites, can build something like this. Now, as I said, there are a few different little holes here. Possibly mongoose. The mongoose love to live inside termite mounds too, once the termites have moved off. Snakes, there are a few little holes around here. So I wouldn't be surprised if there are indeed some snakes maybe inside this termite mound now, especially because it's winter. So in the winter, when the temperature is cooler or much colder, the snakes hibernate, and that's a perfect spot for them to go into and hide and sleep for the winter. So there are a lot of animals that use these termite mounds once the termites have moved out. Christopher, now you asked how do snakes camouflage themselves so well? Well, Christopher, there are many different types of snakes. Some of them don't really have good camouflage. We've got different snakes in this area, Christopher, but one of the best at camouflage is a snake called the puff adder. Now, puff adder's got a beautiful brown, kind of a mottled skin. Now, what that means is it's got slightly brown and dark colors all over the body, and of course now with the grass being this brown color, it can blend in very, very well and can hide and camouflage itself. Other snakes, like the boomslang or the tree snake, that snake is a beautiful green color, so it can hide in the trees very, very well, in the leaves or around the leaves, because of that green coloration. So it all depends where the snakes live and what color they are, and then they would probably choose an area in the bush that suits their color or matches their color, and they can hide away very, very well. So now while we're driving, I'm having a look around constantly for signs of animals. Maybe we're lucky we bump into elephant or buffalo. We could bump into anything really. So we've got to keep looking very, very carefully. Luckily I've got Sebastian with me, who's also looking around, so he can help me spot animals. Now, a lot of you were asking about the sounds that animals make, the elephant or the lion, and that's very important, because while we're driving around, we might also hear the animals. So we're not just relying on seeing them, we also rely on listening and hearing them. So maybe we hear some animals. Now, this is just such a lovely view. I just want to show you this quickly, because you've got a wonderful view of the area from here. This area that we're in now is a little bit higher, so we've got a nice view of Djuma. And for those of you who don't know where Djuma is, we are in the northeastern part of South Africa. So that's where we are, in the greater Kruger National Park. And we are on Djuma Game Reserve, just to give all of you an idea of where we are. A beautiful, beautiful part of South Africa, and a natural environment with all these animals moving around freely. Now, while we're up here, what I'm doing too is I'm busy scanning now. I'm just having a look around, because from here I can use my binoculars and I can see very far, so I can probably see if they're big animals like the elephant or buffalo that I was talking about. If they're moving around, we might be able to spot them from here. Shania, you asked, do I know what the first animal ever in Africa was? I don't, Shania, I'm not sure. Probably the dinosaurs, I suppose. Dinosaurs, but I don't know in terms of the wildlife that we see now. My guess would probably be something along the lines of maybe elephant, if you think of elephants originating from mammoths. I don't know, Shania, it's a good question. I'm not sure. It's way before my time even. So I'm not sure. But my guess would probably be something like elephants. Or I don't know. If you look at crocodiles are very prehistoric. It means they almost look like dinosaurs, don't they? Maybe even crocodiles. I'm not sure. I don't know. Sorry, Megan, I didn't hear Shania's question there. Can you just repeat it for me, please? Shania, you asked what is the most popular animal in Africa. Now, when you say popular, I doubt you mean which animal has the most Facebook friends. Shania, I think the most popular animal, I wonder, maybe the lion. Everybody knows the African lion, and they all respect the lions. So probably the lion, but yeah, giraffe. I think Sebastian was saying giraffe. Yeah, a lot of guests that I get, they really love asking to see giraffe and zebra. Zebra is also one that people love to see. So maybe one of those three. A leopard possibly. Well, thankfully I'm not the only one out anymore. My friend James Henry is all the way up in East Africa in the Masai Mara, and he wants to say hello to all of you.
I think that Byron should be out on his own. I think a 3-hour solo would be very good for Byron. Whether it would be very good for any of you, well, possibly not so much. Anyway, good afternoon and welcome to this end of the sunset safari, as we tend to call it in these circles. We are sitting here, as was said, in the Masai Mara, where we are currently at Main North Crossing, hoping for everybody together, crossing, that's correct, well done. My name is James Hendry, and I will be talking to you from the migration control room, perched on the Olulolo escarpment. Oh my goodness gracious, I've just been reminded that there is a school drive. I believe Montrose Elementary School, you know there's a school called Montrose in South Africa actually, I don't think it's that school though, is it? No, I think they're on holiday at the moment. Anyway, there we go, Montrose Elementary, aged 8 to 9. Hello everybody, and I hope that you're having a good day at school. We have a very special thing to show you then, because many of our normal viewers have seen these before, so I don't show them very often all the time, but I'll show you. We've got some hippopotamus. Now you are very welcome to ask me any question you like. You're wondering if there are any people living in this area. You very cleverly noticed that there are no houses here. This is it is a place that is held so that the animals can live without the noise and the presence of thousands of people. So there are no people here except for those people like us who either work in tourism, so there are a lot of people who come on tours here to see the wild animals, and also for those people like us who make movies. So there we have what we call a white-faced duck. Everybody, a white-faced whistling duck, and it goes... And you can be very sure that we are going to see a lot of birds on the river today. Now, I'm very sorry that there do seem to be some black screen problems. Ooh, look at that. That just means it's a little bit difficult for us to bring you very good pictures from here, but one very good picture is this enormous crocodile. Look at that. Jordan, you say, can the animals make noise? Well, it depends. Oh, why do they make noises? Well, Jordan, they make noises for the same reason. Well, look at this enormous crocodile opening his mouth. I wonder if he's tired. Do you think he's yawning? He looks like he might be. That crocodile, everybody, is probably 12 feet tall. Well, 12 feet long. He's not very tall. Oh, he's yawning again. Jordan, I will get to your question. You say, why do animals make noises? Well, different animals make different noises for different reasons. Birds, for example, make noises to attract females sometimes, and also to show that this is their territory. Lions roar to show that this is their territory. Then sometimes, when they are very cross, they'll growl like a dog, which means, go away, I'm very cross with you, I'm going to bite you if you're not careful. So they'll do that. Hippopotamus go, and they do that when they are being territorial, when they're saying to all the other hippo in the area, this is my area. So that's some of the reasons that animals make noises. Nyla, you say, how long is the croc? Nyla, just as I said, the croc is 12 feet long, roughly. It's a very large crocodile indeed, and probably weighs in the region of 1,600 pounds, which is a lot, I think. I've never met a person who's that heavy. Look at all the hippo there. Isn't that nice? Flapping their ears, just getting them free of the water, going back under the water, and then when darkness falls, they'll get out of the water and go for a walk. Isn't that a beautiful scene there? Now this, everyone, is the Mara River, which is a very important river in this area. It's a river in which, or on which, a huge amount of action takes place. Isn't that beautiful? Now I've got another very special camera to show you. I'm just going to see if I can zoom it out quickly, and I'm going to try and spot some birds for you as well. Unfortunately, they've disappeared. Right, let's have a look here at the mountain camera, if we can. There is the mountain camera. Now, everybody, I'm sitting just behind this camera. In fact, let me show you quickly. Now, don't worry about this. We'll make the picture very nice. Can you see in that window? I'm just inside there, believe it or not. Anyway, what I'm going to do is show you down into the top of the Mara. Now, we had that question about why there are no houses. You can see it was a good question because there are no houses there. Look at all that space with not a house in it. But there are thousands and thousands of animals down there. And if we look down to about there, see those cars moving along? Oh, look behind the cars. They've missed it. They didn't see what was coming behind them. Look at that. Can you see, everybody? It's an enormous elephant. Isn't that fun? So he's eating grass down there and probably sitting under the trees just trying to stay cool. You can see it's quite sunny. And I think those cars, which are tourists, I don't think they saw him. I think they just drove straight past him. They weren't looking very carefully. Now, in fact, I know where they're going. They're going along to that area. You see those other cars there? Let me just quickly see. There's some giraffe in the background. Can you see those giraffe? They're very far away from me. Ernest, you're wondering about the speed of our jeeps. Well, the ones that we drive hardly go at all. In fact, sometimes they go backwards, and sometimes they roll over. But most of the jeeps here, they don't go very fast. You're not allowed to drive very fast in the Masai Mara. You've got to drive very slowly, otherwise you frighten all the animals. And so they drive probably only about 10 miles an hour. Those are very special giraffe, and you know those giraffe are not being very clever, because where those cars are, see all those cars there? Those cars, which only drive at 10 miles an hour, which is, like I say, a good deal faster than ours, they have got lions. I'm sure that there are lions there. And you see this gully, that's this little ditch. You see a big ditch there? That big ditch is where the very famous Agama pride of lions lives. Jayla, you're wondering how long a giraffe's neck is? Well, a big adult giraffe probably has a neck about 6 feet tall, I'd say. So pretty long. Yes, and more elephants. Look at that. Isn't that lovely? Beautiful elephants there sitting on the plains. You see how slowly they move? They like to move very slowly. They don't like to be too speedy about their lives. They live a very relaxed time unless they get scared of, say, a predator. Now, I don't know if you're very clever, but if you are very, very clever, you can look underneath the biggest tree in your picture and you might see another animal. Can you see that other animal there? There you go, a little bit closer. As close as I can go. You see, it's a warthog. There are 2 warthogs there underneath the tree. Alrighty, I'm going to keep searching for animals here. I'm going to hand you back to my friend Baron. And Baron, of course, is 2,500 miles away in South Africa, and he's looking for predators.
I am indeed, James, I am indeed, and it's always wonderful to see the different animals that James gets to see in the Masai Mara, and especially around the rivers, all those big crocodiles and hippos. It's wonderful to see. Now, I'm looking for different predators at the moment. I'm going to be looking for leopards. So hopefully, we get to find one before all of you have to leave us. Now, I'm not too far from the area that Ellie had the leopard this morning, or had a leopard this morning. I'm hoping he's still in the area, so we're going to have a good look around here. So you should stay with us. Hopefully we get to see a beautiful leopard for you, because they are very shy animals. Are quite shy, and they can hide very, very well, especially in the bush at the moment. Their camouflage is perfect. They can hide in this long brown grass. It's not always easy to see them. I'm going to have a good look around and see. Ernest, you ask if I've ever had to run away from a cheetah. No, Ernest, luckily not. The cheetah actually aren't very aggressive animals, and they would prefer to run away from us and not the other way around. So luckily I haven't had to, because I wouldn't be able to. The cheetah are far too fast. They would definitely catch me. Now, everyone, I'm in this area and going to be looking for this leopard. So I've got to look very, very carefully under the trees, and hopefully we get to find him. Hold on a second. Alright, actually, I think there might be someone else who's just managed to find this leopard. Oh, this is exciting, everyone. Hold on. Oh, wow, I can see him. Alright, I'm going to try to get us into position here so you can see this beautiful leopard. Oh, he's straight in front of me. He's lying down in the long grass. Have you got him this hip? Is that alright? It's a bit difficult from here. Let's just see. Maybe Seb can zoom in on him a little bit for us. There we go. You can see, look how well camouflaged he is. There we go, look at that. So this leopard is still here. Now, the reason why I think he is still here is because this leopard had a kill this morning. Now this is very interesting because this leopard managed to kill a porcupine, which is very unusual, and I'm sure a lot of you know porcupine have got those long sharp quills, and it's not easy to kill a porcupine. But this male leopard, this is a male leopard, not a young male leopard, it's an old male leopard. Beautiful, beautiful big male. But just have a look at how well he blends into the long grass. That color, his coat, that beautiful, beautiful leopard coat. In the shade, it's very, very difficult to spot him. Oh, this is wonderful. I'm so glad I got to show all of you a leopard before you had to leave us. Isn't this amazing? You can see those ears twitching. Now, this is probably one of the most beautiful predators that we have in the area. Now, leopards are mainly solitary, which means they mainly live alone. The only time you'll see leopards together is probably if a male meets a female, or when a female has got cubs. Then the female will look after the cubs for a little while. But this is a big male, so he prefers to stay by himself, and he will hunt by himself, and as he did last night, he managed to kill a porcupine. Well, Jordan, you asked why do the leopards have spots? So Jordan, if you look closely, that leopard's got spots and those other little rings, I suppose you could call them, on the body. They are known as rosettes. That's what that pattern is known as, the rosettes on the leopard, and a few spots. And the main reason for that, Jordan, is for camouflage. So what happens is in the shade, or in what we call the dappled light, the low light, then it makes it easier for them to disappear and hide away when they are trying to hunt some animals, potential prey like all the antelope species. They can hide away, and then it just makes it a bit easier for them to almost disappear in the long grass, shaded areas. Alright, well, everyone from Montrose Elementary, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. We are going to say goodbye to you though. The rest of the show will continue, and we're going to head over to James and the Mara, and I'm going to stay with the leopard.
Hello everybody, here we are again, and we have got the spur-winged lapwing playing with his two new friends, Mr. and Mrs. White-Faced Whistling Duck. Unfortunately, it would seem that Mr. and Mrs. White-Faced Whistling Duck are not overly impressed by Mr. Spur-winged lapwing. And you can see this is causing him some sense of distress, and will no doubt contribute to an already fragile ego and sense of lack of self-esteem. But he's just caught a little aquatic snail, so now he feels a little better. Two aquatic snails, and so he feels doubly better. Good. I'm obviously talking nonsense. I don't really know about the psychology, evolutionary or otherwise, of the spur-winged lapwing. That is well beyond my ability at this moment, I'm afraid. It looks like a hammerkop. Ooh, hang on a second. I think we have a visitor here at the migration control. We do. It is the Bergfecht lizard, not lizard, weaver. Not sure why I said it was a lizard. It's not a lizard, it's a weaver. There it is. Now, somebody very kindly, and I forget exactly who it was, sent me a paper on birds, mirrors, and self-awareness, because I made the comment that I didn't think that they were self-aware, and I have yet to read it, but I suspect very strongly that the paper, which was scientific in nature, probably tells me that I was talking utter rubbish. Certainly won't be the first time. Unfortunately, it won't be the last time, so thank you very much for that. I will get onto it, I promise. And it was in the context of these birds that I was talking about the Bergfecht weaver. I thought I might be able to get you a picture from inside here, but they're not close enough to the camera. Isn't he a magnificent little weaver? He is my favourite weaver now, by some margin. I know that this is not, if you have just tuned in, this is not the most wilderness shot you will get on your drive. This is just because I'm sitting inside that window and, well, rather enjoying the sight of the Bergvecht weaver. And as we head out to my very favourite view in the world, we're going to head back to my very favourite leopard in all the world.
Now we are still sitting with this beautiful male leopard. It's a bit tricky to see him where we parked at the moment, but we will get a better position of him. His face is just directly behind that branch at the moment, so I can't move any further. But look at that, he's lifted his head for us. Wonderful to see this big male. Oh wow, there we go. Let's see if he decides to. He may also just change positions and lie down again. Let's see. Oh, that's actually a great view of him. Now this is the first time I've seen this leopard, so I'm very excited too. I haven't seen, this leopard's known as Mvula. I haven't seen Mvula before. I don't think so. Now the kill is actually, we can see it glistening in the sun, just to the right. He's moving straight towards it now. Now that's a porcupine that he killed last night. That's amazing. I mean, it's not an easy task to kill a porcupine, the largest rodent in Africa. Oh, there you can see the quills. Oh, fantastic. Let's see where he moves it to. He's probably just going to move it further into the shade there. This is amazing. This is such a great sighting. So the schools have left us now. But you can see again, I've been chatting to the schools about the camouflage and that, and you can see how this leopard disappears in the long grass at the moment. But we'll sit here patiently and we'll see what he gets up to. To be honest, I was just thinking, and I'm sure some of you might be thinking too, would he hoist it into a tree? Now, it's quite a small kill, so there might not be a need to hoist it into a tree. It's also, he's got a nice shady area here, so it's well hidden. So chances of him being harassed by other animals are probably unlikely. I doubt the scent will travel too far from here. But if he needs to, he has got a nice marula over here just behind me, and he can hoist it in there. Oh, isn't this wonderful? A great little start to the show. Very lucky that we've got this leopard that's hung around here today. Now, sorry. Now, Morgan, you 8 years old. Hello, Morgan. You asked, how does the leopard catch something like a porcupine without getting hurt by the quills? Well, Morgan, the leopards are very, very fast and agile, which means they're quick and they can move very, very quickly when they are trying to hunt something like a snake or a porcupine. I mean, a snake is very fast and can strike, but a porcupine with those sharp quills, the leopard will try its best to get to the head. The head of the porcupine isn't well protected. Let me see if I can find you a picture of one. So I'll show you where the leopard would try to catch the porcupine, or how it would try to catch the porcupine. So the head or the belly, soft areas that are exposed. And let me show you. There we go. My trusty mammal book. Have a look here. There we go, Morgan. You see that? So the head, you can see, is not protected by the quills. They're the sharp quills around there, and on the back, mainly on the back. Now you can see the head is exposed, and underneath very exposed. So that leopard will try its best to move very quickly, flip the porcupine and try get to the head, and that way it can kill it. As long as it stays away from these quills, it won't necessarily get hurt. However, I have seen leopards with serious quill injuries, quills sticking in, not just leopards, lions too, porcupines sticking their quills into these predators, and sometimes it can cause some bad infections. But it looks like Mvula, I think, is quite an experienced leopard, So the chances of him getting hurt or injured by this porcupine, probably unlikely. He knows what to do. You can see he's enjoying some of that at the moment, all that meat. See, and a lot of people think that the porcupines shoot their quills out if they are in danger or if they feel threatened, and that is not true. So they don't shoot the quills at all. What they do is they contract muscles in the skin, causes the quills to raise up, and they'll run backwards into the prey. So whatever's potentially trying to hunt them or harm them, they just run backwards, they reverse into the prey, and then those quills will stick out, and they actually come out of the skin of the porcupine very, very easily. James, you were asking if the quills stay around longer than what the bones do. Now, James, from what I've seen, I mean, porcupine quills, if you keep them, they basically don't perish. They don't fall apart or break or anything like that. So you can keep porcupine quills for for quite a long time. So probably longer than bones. Hang on, he's moving it again. So James, yeah, I suppose the quills would probably hang around a little bit longer than the bones. And also, I don't know, I haven't ever seen animals eating the quills, but animals will eat the bone. However, James, in saying that, you do get bones. I mean, certain bones and that, especially larger bones, that will stay around for a very long time until they eventually get broken down. But the quills, a lot of the lodges and that in these areas, if they find quills on the ground, they'll collect them. It's beautiful decorative pieces that you can put on tables or around the lodges. So a lot of people do try to collect the porcupine quills. Oh, it's such a nice view of him. Now, it is so special to see a leopard. Now, actually, one of our Safari Live friends, is watching in another part of the world that they find leopards, all the way in Sri Lanka. And Avi Fonseca, it is his birthday today, and he's a guide too, so he finds leopards in another part of the world. Happy birthday, Avi. Hope you're having a great day from all of us at Safari Live. And Avi and his team were out here recently. They came and visited us too. But they track leopards and bears and all sorts of wildlife in Sri Lanka. Happy birthday, old boy. Hope he's having a great day. I'm definitely having a great afternoon. What a nice start. To be able to sit with a big male leopard like this is very, very special. Now, finally we've got some other guides out, and my friend Scott is out in the Mara at the moment. He's probably on a vehicle. Let's go say hi to Scott.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Brian. I'm not sure when he got into town, but good that he's back in town. Serious character. Byron, seriously, I'm getting my R's and my Y's and my I's back to front. My name is Scott Dyson. I'm teamed up with Dave on camera, and we've got Jerry keeping an eye on us. She's escaped the confines of the final control and enjoying the wind in her hair. We have got some beautiful scenes already. And isn't that wonderful? A large herd of wildebeest, which actually haven't really been in this area much. So these could be front runners leading the migration north towards us. We were further south towards the Tanzanian border today doing a bit of a recce on the status of the larger portions of the herd, and we can confirm that they are streaming in over the Tanzanian border and closer towards us. Sadly, it's in a bit of a no-go zone signal-wise. That's why we had to race out of there to get back into an area where we can bring you some wonderful images from. And this is a good start. We had a wonderful morning out for those of you who managed to join in the sunrise safari. We got a glimpse of the Agama pride. It looks like the smaller sets of 3 cubs have been introduced to the rest of the pride, so I saw a little bit of rough and tumble with them. And not too much else. We were doing a lot of birding in between. There was a quest between Taylor, Ali and myself to try and find you guys as many fancy birds as we could, and fancy was very open bracketed, so it allowed us to basically show you any bird that we came across, and we discussed its fancy features. So let me actually just show you on the map quickly, because it's no good me just blabbering on about the Tanzanian border and where the wildebeest are unless I give you an idea of everything. Now, this is a new map, so I hope you enjoy its very fine state that it's in. So basically, to start at the top, we'll start off with where our camp is, and that's up there. So we're right up at the top of the Mara Triangle. We've driven down this road this morning, all the way here, down onto here, and all the way down here. And as we start getting onto this lower section, you can see the red dotted line is the border between Kenya and Tanzania. And we made it up to this area over here, and this whole stretch up to this road and a little bit north thereof was filled with wildebeest and zebra. And they're going to continue up along the eastern side of the Olololo escarpment until eventually they surround our camp. So isn't that exciting? And I'm very, very pleased that the wildebeest are on their way. Good, well, we're going to send you back down to South Africa with Tristan while we continue to find you some interesting things up here.
All right. And I'm just trying to reposition quickly. This leopard's moved into a tricky little area, so let's see if I can get another view of him quickly. Just hold on, this is going to be a bit tricky. See, you've got to multitask quite a lot out here while you drive and reposition vehicles and dodge tree stumps. And I think I might have a nice view of him from here. Sebo, you're right there. Is that okay? There we go. I think we've got a nice view. If he lies down again, we might lose a bit of a view of him. Oh, wow, look at that. That's lovely. There we go. So we'll just sit tight here again. And he was lying down a bit. I mean, this little section of long grass here is quite tricky to see him, but we've fortunately got a great view of him now, and he's feeding on that porcupine. Oh, this is really, really great. I haven't seen a porcupine in the Sabi Sands for quite some time. We see the tracks, especially on bushwalk, we do see the tracks, but because they're mainly nocturnal, it's not always easy to see them. Hang on. There's a pearl-spotted owl calling very close to us. I don't know if we'll be able to find it. I'll see if I can find it for us. But while we do that, let's head over to Tristan, Big Boss Man, who's out on drive in the Sabi Sands with me.
We are indeed, Byron, and please excuse our tardiness and our lack of, well, audio just now. So it is very nice to be finally out this afternoon. Craig is back from the dentist and his tooth is all sorted. And, well, as you know, my name is Tristan, and we will be on Rusty this afternoon. Now, it is a beautiful afternoon, and it's nice to get out at this time. It feels like the perfect time to be starting our game drive. And remember, you can get hold of us on hashtag Safari Live on Twitter. I'm sure Scott, James, and Byron have all reminded you, but, well, I'm going to remind you again, just in case you didn't know, or you're a new viewer that's just joined us. Now, Megan, you say it's 26 degrees Celsius, which I think is about 78 Fahrenheit, somewhere around there. So it is a beautiful winter's afternoon. The sky is blue. There's not too much of a wind. And during the day today, we had quite a lot of wind. So it's really nice that the wind has died down. And it's super exciting that Mvula is on a porcupine kill. I'm sure a lot of you were quite intrigued by that. It seems to be a firm favorite of Mvula. I think that's probably, in the time that I've known him, maybe easily the 9th or 10th porcupine that I've heard of him eating. So he's definitely got a taste for them. And I suppose his patience at sitting at warthog burrows, we sometimes think it's just warthogs that he's hunting, but we need to remember that porcupines spend a lot of their time in warthog burrows too. And so he probably sits and waits for them. And given his aging, how his age is, things like porcupines are going to be a lot easier to catch than something like a warthog, because porcupines are a little bit slower. Whether or not they're easy, I suppose, is debatable, but they are slower and it's easier to catch up with them, should we say, than it is something like a warthog. Now, I believe a lot of you are concerned about Craig. Don't worry, Craig is bulletproof. He is very, very, very sort of hard working, because, well, any people manning up to do game drive, which is quite impressive, Craig. So thank you very much for helping out and coming back and joining us. It is amazing that he is out and with us this afternoon. Hopefully we will treat him to something special. I have to ask Craig what he wants to see. Craig, what do you want to see this afternoon? Craig wants to see a pangolin, right? So we all need to send good vibes out for Craig being a trooper, that we see a pangolin this afternoon. I'm sure many of you would like to see a pangolin as well. But while we go in search of our pangolin and see what else we can find, I believe Megan said Scott, all the way in the Masai Mara, with, well, the most common animal there at the moment. I do apologize if it's not Scott, but, well, let's just go across and see who it is.
Scott might be, but James also is, everybody. We're looking at the most enormous grouping of what Stefan Winterboer has just described as meat on the hoof. Absolutely, I think they're going to go straight in here. This is the main north crossing. And we just need to decide now whether we're going to start our Facebook broadcast as well. And you know what? We just have to wait until the first one puts its little toe in, and then we will go for it. So quite an astonishing group of wildebeest here. Look at this. This is the biggest herd we've seen gathering at this crossing so far this year. Oh, wow, everybody, the migration has arrived. In the north they're in. Let's go. Let's go live. This is fantastic. Good grief, look at them streaming down. One of them being washed away. Some of them will drown. Some of them will be caught by crocodiles. Quite harrowing.
And still sitting with this beautiful male leopard, Mvula, and he's still active, still busy feeding away at this porcupine. And it just shows you, often what happens with these leopards especially, if the temperature cools down a bit, they do get a bit active, and it's not that hot this afternoon. But also what they'll do is they'll keep the kill for a while and then rest and then get up and feed again when they are hungry. So luckily we've got a bit of activity from him now, which is great. And I did manage to find that pearl-spotted owl. It is still sitting in a tree, and I'll see if I can show it to you later. Unfortunately, the angle that we parked at now, there's a tree in front of Seb, so we can't get the camera on it. But I have spotted that little pearl-spotted owl that was calling earlier. It's sitting in looks like a large knobthorn, just at the top of the knobthorn. But hopefully I'll be able to show you that. We've had quite a bit of luck with the little owls at the moment. We had the Scops owl the other day. And Ellie this morning, I think, had the Verreaux's eagle owl. I'm very jealous. I love seeing those Verreaux's eagle owl, or the giant eagle owl.
I did think about you.
Oh, you thought about me. Thank you, Seb. Now, I hope all of you are enjoying this leopard sighting as much as I am. James, leopards do hunt alone. They are generally solitary. The only time you'll see leopards together is if a male and female are potentially mating, or if a female has got cubs and she's looking after the cubs. But otherwise, leopards are solitary, and this male will be moving around by himself, and they do hunt by themselves. They are ambush predators. They stalk really close to their prey and launch themselves out at the last minute to try and catch something. So it's not always easy for a leopard, but they are very, very stealthy, very wise, cunning hunters. So it's a bit, it's not too difficult for them. But I'm sure this would have been an amazing battle to see between the porcupine and Mvula. It would have been very interesting. And we fortunately in such a lovely little position here now, we can sit and enjoy him quietly while he's feeding. And don't forget, everybody, we are completely live. So for those of you who've just joined us, if you want to know how to send your questions, #SafariLive is how you do it on Twitter, and send us your questions and comments about anything really, and we'll hopefully answer your questions for you. And luckily, we're sitting with this beautiful leopard. That little pill-spotted owl just started calling a bit again. So hopefully just now I'll be able to show you that owl. I hope it stays there. Right, let's. I'm going to sit around here a little bit longer. Such a nice sighting. And let's head back to Tristan and see where he's going and what his plan is on finding animals.
Well, Byron, it's a mystery this afternoon as to what our plans are. We'll have to see if Byron can guess what we're going to go and do. No, I'm just kidding. We're going to try and see if we can't find little Tumba, because I can't resist trying to find the young lad. I haven't seen him since I've been back from leave 2 weeks ago, so I would like to try and catch up, see how he's grown and see what he's looking like. So I believe Taylor had him this morning somewhere around Nyala Road South, and I know that it seems as though Tundi was at the dam most of the night. So I'm going to try and see if I can't find those two, and failing that, I'm going to go and check down towards the southern waterholes and see if there isn't any signs of elephants. So that's what our plan is going to be this afternoon, and of course we're going to look for Craig's pangolin and see if we can't find that. Craig, if I find you a pangolin, will you be happy? Have you seen a pangolin, Craig? You have not seen a pangolin. Okay, well, we do need to find you a pangolin. That's definitely on the list of things to do. And while I think about that, we also need to just say sorry to James, because I said we were going to go across to Scott, and it was actually James, and the Wildebeest crossing all over the place there. So we'll have to say sorry to him. And talking of James, speak of the devil, it sounds like he's sorted out his gremlin, so let's go across to the real James with his wildebeest at the river.
Hello everybody, just quickly to say that these wildebeest are at the main north crossing, the biggest grouping we've seen here. I would say in excess of 10,000, impossible to count of course, but look, just underneath them, there the crocodiles are. They seem not as concerned in the slightest. In fact, they seem quite excited. In fact, I'm not sure whether to tell whether a crocodile is excited, angry, happy or sad. It's almost impossible. Let's just go across this massive line of animals. Heading down, there are the zebra deciding to have a drink precisely where the wildebeest thought that this was too dangerous to try and cross earlier on. And just to also let you know that around about this time last week, there was an amazing sighting. In fact, it was exactly this time last week that Steph had and Scott had of wildebeest that had drowned and were floating down the river, thousands of them. So you can see that perhaps they are, well, once bitten, twice shy, really. Oops, sorry about the speed of that. And they're being a bit more cautious about leaping into the water. They are affected by the water. They don't find it very easy. But this is what happens, you see, sorry, there's leaping around. This is what happens. we get this huge gathering. This is by far the biggest one we've had so far. Will they cross? Well, I think, and then there you see half of them turn around and go somewhere else. Now that can often then reverse again, and they'll come back towards this area, and sometimes they won't, sometimes they'll cross, and sometimes they just don't, and no one really knows why. And it's interesting, I wonder also how much effect the presence of human beings has on these herds. They seem to be able to change, or they seem to decide to change where they're going to go on a whim. It might be the clap of a hand, the loud voice of a human being, the moving of a vehicle or something like that. There they go, they're walking away now, some of them. They could easily turn around and come back. It does not mean by any stretch that this story is over. Look at them all. Get in the water, go on. Dangerous. And whether that's a conscious sort of psychological evaluation of what's going on in the water, or whether it is just simply born of the fact that we're losing our footing, this doesn't feel right, I don't know. And you can be very sure that there will be lions around here, and the Paradise Pride will be thinking, ooh, look at this little smorgasbord that has come down here for us. And see if we can't see where they're going. Signal difficulty, everybody. I'm sorry about that. Now you can you see half of them now have turned around and they're moving away. They don't know why they're doing this. They have no clue. They have no conception of why, but there they go. Now this time last year, in fact, kind of thing, and then they'd go off to another crossing and leap across. So maybe they'll do that. Maybe they'll go across to Dusty Crossing. They might go across to Picnic Crossing, which is way down to the south. Camera there. But Scott is in the field very close by, and he might be able to get some sort of a picture of them if they don't cross here. And while we wait and see what's going to happen here, let's go across to Baron, who has got a very wise creature.
I do indeed, James, and luckily he wasn't able to hide from us this time. A pearl-spotted owl, a little pearl-spotted owl that's right up, look how well camouflaged it is, but I heard him calling, and luckily I spotted him in the tree, and you can see those two very prominent black marks on the back of the head. They appear to be eyes. They look like eyes. I'm assuming that's part of a defense mechanism. Isn't that cute? You can see his face clearly. Look at that. Looks like those eyes are blinking individually almost, which they can do. Wonderful pearl-spotted owl. Yeah. It's always wonderful if you do hear the owls, and if you are able to find them, especially these little ones, the pearl-spotted owl, the little barred owlet, or the Scops owl. They really are quite small and not easy to find. You can see, if you look at the size of this tree that he's sitting in, it's right on the top of that knobthorn. But fortunately, we managed to spot him. There he is. Wonderful. Now, Bobby, most of these owls are mainly nocturnal, but they do sit around during the day too. They probably won't be as active, but these little, especially these pearl-spotted owls, they can occasionally be active during the day, and they'll pick off little insects or lizards, possibly little rodents. but they're not strictly nocturnal. They can move around during the day, but they won't fly about as much. They occasionally whistle and give that territorial call during the day, but they are more active at night. Put it that way. They definitely are more active at night. Some of the larger owl species are definitely mostly nocturnal. You might spot them sitting in trees during the day, but they generally are more nocturnal. But some of these little owls do move around during the day. Now, Bobby, some of the larger owls do indeed nest in branches, so they will build nests and nest in branches. Some of the smaller owls will nest in the hollows of trees. But the larger ones, like, we don't get them here, but Pell's fishing owl, the Verreaux's eagle owl, spotted eagle owl, they will generally use nests. I'm just trying to think. It also depends, but these smaller ones generally prefer little hollows to nest in. Alright, well, I'm glad we got to show you the pearl-spotted owl. I'm going to reposition to get another view of Mvula, and while I do that, let's head to Scott, who's apparently got a view of some elephant. I'll move now. I just want to...
Yes, we do have some elephants, but we thought we'd start off with the tiny Thomson's Gazelle in the foreground. And what a wonderful scene, as it seems you are all being spoiled regardless of where you go on safari this afternoon. Byron's done well with Mvula and a pearl-spotted owl. Awesome stuff. And this beautiful herd of about 30 elephants, all shapes and sizes, some really cute youngsters, along with some really impressive big cows. Beautiful. Okay, there's action happening downstream. Off you go to James.
Look at this, everybody. Here they are. They're plunging into the water now by their hundreds. This is an unavoidable crossing now. Here they go. They're at Main North. There's a little one there managing to get out. Now, the reason they choose this crossing is because, well, in theory, will now be on their way. This is going to be something spectacular, I think. Hopefully most of them, well, definitely most of them will make it. Some of them, I fear, are going to fall prey to the water and, of course, to the crocodiles. Let's watch and see what happens here. You can see the river is very, very strong. As they're being pushed off this shelf of rocks, so the others are following in there, unable to factor in the vector. Blessed of enormous brains. Let's just look down here. Oh, look at this. Come on, little thing, get across. Look at them all being swept across here. This could become very, very traumatic, but at the moment it seems to be okay. Come on, little fellow on the far right-hand side. Oh, plunging into another hole. He's going to make it. Come on. There we go. He's got out. Well done, well done. Okay. To them. All of them now heading in. Is there a crocodile there? No, can't see a crocodile yet. There must be a crocodile nearby somewhere. Let's get into the middle of them here. Thousands of them. That shaking of the camera is the wildebeest hitting the camera. Oh, these chaps are now really being pushed by the water. And you can see the line of vehicles there, almost as numerous as the wildebeest themselves, watching this astonishing spectacle. And this, of has to offer thousands and thousands and thousands of people here to watch these amazing scenes every year, and you can see those thousands there. Look at that. They all seem to be making it out. Don't have any more crocodile action. They're downstream. They're swimming with the water, which, if you're clever, is not a bad way to go. You just swim gently across and go with the stream. Absolutely astonishing scenes here at the main crossing in the Masai Mara. And what on earth is going on with the crocodiles, I don't know. They are now streaming in from all angles. I don't even know where to point this camera, and I also cannot tell you why it is that the crocodiles have decided there is nothing here worth eating. Look at this line of beautiful animals coming across. And I'm sure all of you are just as impressed and astounded by this as I am. Oh my goodness. Look at this. I'm sorry about the black screens and the freezing, but it is somewhat difficult to bring you all of these scenes, spectacular as they are. It's not easy. Camera they've moved. Don't think water is too for the crocodiles, and they don't fancy their chances in a grouping like this. I'm not sure. Look how many there are, just streaming past. Let's zoom out a little bit. All of them getting wet. Some of them, I mean, I hate to say this, but I think some of them should. Now, James, you're wondering if the crossing points have natural paths heading towards them from years of use, and in the background a hippopod there. Absolutely they do, James. They are predictable. That's why we were in crossing. Good place to cross. They can stand. And this is why it's a predictable place for them to be crossing. They know. Yes, of course, they seem to be a little bit unwieldy. They're a very small one. Those little ones on their very first migration, everybody, they were born in January and February on the southern zebra now getting in on the action. They're a whole lot more in a different crossing spot. That's the very first crossing spot there where they are that we thought they were going to try at, and they gave up there because it was too difficult, and now more are giving up. Goodness gracious. I mean, you really don't know where to look here, do you? Let's go back towards them. Yeah, they're streaming down. More zebra now, largely. This noise, I've no doubt, will attract some noise of lions. Well, H. Macy, you're wondering, I'm assuming not the William H. Macy, you're wondering if it's possible for crocodiles to be trampled to death by this smorgasbord of dinner, killed by supper, as it were. No, I would say unlikely. I mean, I'm sure it's possible, but I would say it's highly unlikely. Ooh, there's a little one that looks like it might be quite badly injured. No, it's not. It's just getting out of the water. It's absolutely fine. This is a very unusual experience, everybody. We're watching what can only be described as a triumphant crossing, because normally, of course, there are scenes of gnashing jaws and viciousness which leave people going, oh, awful, dreadful. Now, everyone's just crossing in a sedate fashion, making it across the river. Yes, they're slipping and probably getting a little bit sore around the ankles, but they're doing fine. Oh, Francis, you want to know what happens if they break a leg during the crossing. Francis, you don't recover from a broken leg out here very readily, I'm afraid. So it's most likely that you would then be taken by a lion very quickly, or a hyena, easily a hyena. Let's try and follow one of them all the way across. There, let's follow this little chap there. Try and get up into his face a little. One of them's going back the way. What on earth? Sorry, I'm going to scrap that idea. What on earth is going on there? Gone back to fetch a friend, perhaps? Frightened? No ways. Now, this is perfectly paints what I was talking about. These things don't know why they cross. They've got no idea. Why? They're compelled. And I do not believe there's a scientist in the world who can tell me why it is that these things are now crossing in opposite streams. And they're coming back the way. Those are two. This group is obviously not thinking clearly. There they jump in. Right, now let's try and follow one all the way across. There, we'll follow him. Let's get in on him there. Oh, swim, Wildebeest, swim. Swim, swim, swim. There he is. Sorry, this is a little bit jerky as I try and figure it out. Hippopotamus coming in there. Can you see him there? He's just in the middle there with his face turned to us now. That's the one we were following from the beginning. Very strong swimmer he is. He is the Michael Phelps of Wildebeest. We will call him Michael. Come on, Michael. You're almost across. And there he's out the other side. This is just too spectacular. Now let's go all the way back again. One of them floundering there in the middle. I wonder if he hasn't been caught by a crocodile. No, just swimming the wrong way. Idiot, turn around. Come on. What are you doing? I imagine there's a huge amount of panic. Same white-faced ducks that we've just been watching earlier today, sitting there thinking, good grief. Well, John, I had exactly the same thought. You said maybe there was a lion attack on the other side. That is entirely possible. The Paradise Pride, as we know, plies its trade in between the grasses here on the banks of the river, waiting for exactly an occasion like this, and still they stream down. And I wonder if Scott has got a picture of them the other side, making their way out of the river. I don't think he's far from here, but I'm not sure. Still they're massing at one of the main crossing points up north there. Let's go back towards the action. I'll brighten your picture slightly. There they come, they're still streaming down. The zebra don't seem to have tried too much crossing at the moment. There we go, they're still streaming in. Oh, that's wonderful. Isn't that great? Oh, that's fantastic stuff. Swimming past the hippo. They'll be a little bit wary of the hippo. Why they would do that, but yes, it's absolutely possible. And I'm just going to have another quick look at our other crossing camera. A picture of the rest of them from another angle. Not yet, no. Cross. And I'm sorry about all the black screens we're getting, everybody. There really is naught we can do about it at this stage, I'm afraid. Here. Making their way in, and still not one crocodile in sight. There. No. Is that a hippo or a croc? It's a hippo. They've now got in between the hippo. They've been washed a hugely long... This is a much easier place for them to be crossing. Much easier. Well, in fact, it's not. It's much deeper. Oh, what's going on there? See, that leaping is often indicative of some kind of attack. I still do not see a crocodile. And Tom, you're wondering if the strong current affects the crocodiles. Tom, it's my view that that's the only reason we're not seeing crocs here. I can only think that this current is too strong for them to make the effort here. Because otherwise, I don't know why this enormous mass of food would not be attacked. Well, Stacey, you say, do zebra have better luck in the water than wildebeest? No, not always. In fact, this season it's been quite the opposite. We've seen many, many zebra get taken, but of course we've watched many, many zebra crossing. So you can see there's still a huge number on the banks that seem to want to cross. They don't know why they want to cross, clearly, and although all of their friends have made it across entirely safely, these chaps are now deciding, hang on a second, let's see what's going on here. They're crossing all over now. No, still no crocodile. Let's just keep watching this lot. Youngsters swimming very strongly. Oh, tiny little wildebeest, out you get. Well done. Let's go back a bit. Oh, hello. No, don't go back again, you twit. You've got to cross once. That's enough. Let your heart rate down. Go and have a nice evening graze. And then you can do it again some other day. That's just madness. Look at these fellows. Upstream so that they can get to shallower water. Now, I mean, I don't know if any of you have ridden horses before. I imagine you probably have. But you know how a horse's hoof slips on just about any surface. Why these things would risk injury again going the other way, well, that's just anyone's guess. I was trying to keep an eye on the ones coming down from the other side. These guys are having a really tough time. I don't know that any wildebeest here drowned. I certainly didn't see any floating away. Oof, that one is thrashing around, having a horrible time. I always find it so dreadful to watch little things or animals like this slipping and flailing, and clearly you can see they panic totally. Oh, these guys are getting themselves into trouble now. And you see how they follow each other. They don't factor the vector of the water at all. So as soon as the main stream gets pushed sideways, everyone then goes into the water sideways. I think also the rapids, not necessarily the movement of the water, but I think the rapids deter the crocs. You know, here come a whole lot more deciding this is a fantastic idea, let's have another swim. Oh, here we go. There's trouble. Now one of them crossing from halfway. That little one is in trouble. Is he struggling there? Come on, little one, just push, just go, you'll be fine. Oh, you see, you'd imagine that a crocodile would be able to pick up on that weakness. Getting. Come on then, that's it, well done. The little one's being left behind slightly. Come on, chaps. Oh dear. Oh. Don't give up. Just go with the flow and then swim. They're making slow progress, but this, you know, they're either into the realm of exhaustion. Come on. Go on. Go. That's it. There we go. Well done. Yes. Come on. Come on. Oh, yes, just go with the flow. It's all right. Go with the flow. Don't turn around now, because then really I will lose patience entirely with you. Get out. Well done. Now go and have some supper. Here, some who think that the grass is greener this side. Now that thing, of course, has been separated from its herd, but that doesn't matter. It'll find the herd. They're making enough noise. Here it goes. You can see it running there on the bank. There he is. Let's try and go and have a little look in there. Oops, the daisies. Where is he? There he is. Hi. Well done. No, don't follow this lot. They're going to go back into the water. I actually don't believe this. He looks like he's thinking about going again. It's madness. Yes. Can you hear him? You can almost hear him going, bow, bow, bow. And I wouldn't be doing it around the zebras. Zebras don't like that sound. Because it attracts predators, obviously, the distress. Well, here we go. Zebras now getting in on the act this side. Zebras, well, yeah, they often do that. We often think, well, here they go. They get in, have a drink, and get out. But now, let's wonder if this Wildebeest grouping coming across here is into their first or second crossing of the day, let alone the season. Still, I must remind you, look over here, where the crocodiles were, not moved a muscle. Look at them there. They haven't moved at all since we first spotted them there. So this is obviously some kind of crocodile fasting day. Persuasion the crocodiles of this area are, but whatever it is, today is not a day for eating. Right, nothing else further down this way. The zebra seem to be a bit more circumspect about this lot, which is quite good if you happen to be a zebra. Wildebeest back in. Oh, here we go. Now we've got a proper crossing. This afternoon. Yeah. Tell me that little youngster we're looking at there isn't the same one that we just watched crossing. You know, I bet it is. Because I didn't see any of these lot going on. Let's just zoom out and see. Absolutely astonishing scenes here. These chaps getting swept away. Oh, went straight over there. Come on. Keep going, you're nearly out. Yeah, you can imagine how they must drown, but I don't think we've seen one drown. Look how many people there are watching this. There'll be the equal number this side of the river too. All right, I'm going to keep watching this lot, see what happens. Tristan has got a similar sort of a scene. I don't think it's going to develop the same way, but it will develop in an equally spectacular way.
Well, we do. I'm just going to try and get myself into a better position because they've all come filing past me very quickly because they're on their way to Djuma Dam. So we've been following some elephant tracks all the way from down on Vulture's Nest area and Nyala and South where Taylor had Tumba this morning, and there's no sign of his tracks, but we picked up on the fresh Ellie tracks and we were following them, and then I got a little whisper from the voice inside my head, which is Megan this afternoon, to tell me that the Ellies are coming towards the dam. So we raced around quickly and we seem to have arrived at the perfect time because most of them are all in front of me here. They're just slowly going and they're looking for water at the small water hole where the little Djuma Dam is, and I think if they get disappointed here, if there's no water here, then we'll find they'll go down towards the main dam at the bottom, although it looks as though there is a little bit of water, the way that they're all piling around. No, maybe not, but it is